Hi friends, and welcome to today's video. My name is Josh, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to play the song Defying Gravity from the musical and now movie Wicked. This is an awesome song to learn on the piano, and I tried to break it down and keep it as simple as possible for you if you're just a beginner. With that being said, I did cut out a few parts and just kind of focused on the main aspects, the verse and the chorus, but I do show the chords of the bridge as well at the end of this video, so check that out. Anyways, let's go. All right, so this song is gonna be in the key of D flat. So you see we're using all the black keys there and then also the F and the C. And you will see a few notes that are outside of that as well. All right, so first let's get started with this intro. That's gonna sound like this. All right, and we'll keep it nice and easy here. Starting with the right hand, we're gonna start with an A flat and a D flat, okay? And we're gonna pretty much play this for almost every chord. The only difference we're gonna do is on our second chord, we're gonna drop this down to a C, okay? Like this, okay? Now in the left hand, we're gonna do a bit of a walk up, okay? So we're gonna start here on our full D flat chord, okay? So we'll play D flat, A flat, and D flat in the left hand, and then that A flat and D flat in the right hand. And it really has this nice open sound. Usually a D flat chord is gonna have that F as well, but kind of just playing it like this gives it a nice, open, powerful sound, okay? So we'll start with that. And now we'll go to our next chord here, which is going to be an A flat chord with an E flat in the bass, okay? So E flat and C in the left hand, A flat and C in the right hand, okay? Okay, moving on up, we'll go back to the same right hand we had before, A flat and D flat, and then we'll go to F in the left hand as well as D flat. Keep on walking up with that bass line, and then for our final chord, we're just gonna bring that up to a G flat. So we have G flat, D flat, the second of the chord here, which is gonna make it a suspended chord. So that's A flat and then D flat, okay? All right, so to review, we have D flat, A flat over E flat, D flat over F, and a G flat sus2, okay? So just like that. Okay, and that's gonna be our intro. So now, moving on to our verse, we're gonna start by just moving back and forth between these two chords that we already learned actually. So we're gonna start here with our nice open D flat chord, okay? D flat, A flat, D flat, A flat, and D flat, okay? And this is where the lyrics will start. Something has changed within me, okay? Right there. And that second chord we're playing there is our G flat chord, G flat, D flat, G flat, and then the A flat to make it a suspended 2 chord, and then the D flat, okay? So it sounds like this. Something has changed within me, okay? And we're just gonna repeat that same progression 3 times. Da 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 da. Third time. Da 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 da. Okay? Nice and simple right there. Just keeping the right hand all the same and just moving that left hand back and forth. Now this fourth part, mix it up with this, okay? 3 chords here. So first, we were on that G flat, remember? All we're gonna do is we're gonna drop those G flats down to Fs, okay? And that's gonna give us our D flat over F chord, okay? We played that before in the intro. So we'll start with da 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 da, and that'll take us to our G flat suspended chord again, G flat suspended 2, and then we'll go to a new chord here, which is gonna be a B chord. Kind of a C flat, you might call it, but for simplification, we're just gonna call it a B, okay? So B, F sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and B, okay? Okay, so those 3 chords in that last part, D flat over F, G flat suspended 2, and B, okay? Let me play through that first part of the verse one time. right, there you go. All right, so now moving on to the second part of the verse, we're gonna start here on our B chord that we just ended that first part with, okay? And again, here we're gonna be moving back and forth between two chords. So we'll start with our B, and then we're gonna go up to our D flat chord, okay? This time I do add the F here, but other than that, it's pretty much the same, okay? And we're gonna move back to that B now, and then go back to our D flat, okay? So just moving back and forth between those two chords. Now we're gonna begin this little walk up that is going to take us into our main chorus, okay? So we were on that D flat chord. After that, we're gonna go up here to a new chord here, which is gonna be an E flat minor 7 chord, okay? E flat, B flat, E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat, and G flat, okay? E flat minor 7. Now we'll go to our D flat over F chord. We've played this one a couple times. F, D flat, F, A flat, and D flat. Okay. Keep walking up in the bass there and go here in the right hand. So now this is going to be our G flat suspended 2 chord like we've played it before. G flat, D flat, G flat, A flat, and D flat. And then add that top G flat if you want to as well. And then finally we'll go to our final chord, which I kind of like to play with the low octaves here. And this is going to be an A flat chord. So A flat octaves in the left hand, A flat. Instead of playing the C here, we're going to go back up to that D flat, kind of like we were playing all the way through the intro and verse, okay? So that's going to make it a suspended chord. We're playing the 4th instead of the 3rd, okay? So that D flat, E flat, and then the A flat on top, okay? That's our A flat suspended chord. Let's review those 4 chords. We have E flat minor 7, D flat over F, G flat sus 2, and then finally our A flat sus, okay? Now let me play through that second part of the verse for you. Okay, so those are the basic chords, and then as you saw in the song preview, sometimes I start to add a little bit of motion here. And that's just really playing those same chords, but just playing them, adding a little bit of stuff in there. All right, and that is going to take us to the chorus. Now the chorus does get a bit trickier here. I did play that right hand pattern, but let me start by showing you kind of a simpler version that you can play if you want, because the tempo does pick up a bit here. You'll notice that in the song. So let's take a look. We're really only gonna have 3 chords here, okay? So starting with kind of that simple version I was talking about. Our chords here in the left hand are going to be B flat minor, G flat, and A flat, okay? And all I'm doing here, this version here, just kind of playing the 1 and the 5. So we'll start with B flat and F, then go to G flat and D flat, and then A flat and E flat, okay? Just those 3 chords. And then all you need to add in the right hand is those 2 notes that we've been repeating a lot, the A flat and the D flat. And then we'll add that same A flat on top. And you can play that over all 3 chords. All right, can you hear it? Da, 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 dun, 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 dun. You can even start to add a little bit of rhythm if you're feeling comfortable with it. Something like that, okay? So that's kind of the simple way to play it there. Now, if you want to add this little thing in the right hand, what I did first off, I did change the left hand a little bit. So let me show you what I'm doing here in the left hand. I move it all the way up here to get a bit of a higher sound. And here I'm just gonna fill out that chord a little bit more. So I'm gonna start with B flat, D flat, F, and then the A flat. So this is actually a B flat minor 7 chord, okay? Okay, so that's our first chord. I'm gonna keep this A flat on top for all these chords you'll see. And for this second chord, we're gonna go to a G flat, sus2, so G flat, D flat, and then that A flat on top, if you can reach it. And then lastly, go to our A flat sus chord with the A flat on top, okay? A flat, D flat, E flat, and A flat. Okay, so those three chords, B flat minor, G flat sus2, and A flat sus. All right, so that's kind of the left hand. Now on the right hand, it's a bit tricky, but basically all we're gonna be doing is we're gonna start with our thumb here on the A flat, then we'll go to C, D flat, and A flat. And we're just gonna start by playing that all the way up, 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after those first 4 notes, all we're gonna be doing is repeating these 3 over and over again. And it gets a bit tricky because it is not really in rhythm. It's kind of a bit of a polyrhythm because we have multiple things going on. It kind of goes out of beat with the chords in the left hand, okay? But basically, after that first time of starting on the A flat and working our way up, we're just gonna stay on these 3 notes and keep on playing them continuously. C, D flat, A flat, C, D flat, A flat. And just kind of go through that. Just keep on continuously playing that. And that's really it, okay? Then it does kind of get a bit more complicated when you get into the second line, but if you just kind of keep playing it, it stays the same, okay? So you put that together with the left hand and that sounds something like this. Okay, and that is what's going on there. So that's really everything that you need to know to play the chorus. And then after the chorus, it's just going to take you right back to a transition part that's really just the same as our intro that we learned. Okay, something like that, okay? And that's how we're going to end our first time through the song. Now the second time through the chorus, we're actually going to end here. And we're gonna go to a B chord, okay, on that second time through the chorus. And that's gonna take us into our bridge. Now I didn't show the bridge in the song preview, but I will kind of break down a few of those chords here if you're interested in learning those. So this part is where we start to hear this little rhythm here. And that's over the B chord in the left hand. And that's when they sing unlimited. And it's kind of out of time from this right hand part, but that right hand, if you want to play that loop, just D flat, F, G flat, and B flat. Just over and over again, okay? And in that left hand, we're just gonna kind of sit on that B chord for a while. B, D flat, or sorry, D sharp, and F sharp. And that's just kind of looping for a bit while they're singing unlimited, together we're unlimited. Okay, so that's kind of the first part. All we're gonna be doing is staying on that B, and then we're gonna go to this next part where we're gonna start on the B, and then we're gonna go da 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 da. Okay, so 4 chords there. First chord there is our B chord, just like we were playing before. Then we're gonna go here to a B flat minor chord, B flat minor 7, kind of the first chord that we played there in the chorus as well. So B flat, F, A flat, G flat, F, and A flat. And then go to an E flat minor 7 chord, another chord we've played before. E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat, and G flat. And then finally, we have a different chord here. This is a cool chord. It's a B minor chord, B, D, and F sharp, B, D, F sharp. And then we add the G sharp as well. So it's like a B minor 6, like that. Okay. So those 4 chords, we had B, B flat minor 7, E flat minor 7, and then our B flat minor 6, okay? Lots of funky minor chords there. After that, we move on to this part. Pretty simple, just 2 chords here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, those 2 chords are just going to be a G flat over B flat chord. So B flat in the bass, G flat, D flat, or sorry, B flat, D flat, and G flat. And then we move up to our B chord. We played that one before, okay? And then we repeat, G flat over B flat, and B, okay? After this, we get into a bit of a fun key change thing where we're going into a bit of a different mode here. Going to an A chord here, okay? So A, E, A, C sharp, and E. Okay? And then finally, a D chord. Sounds kind of out of place, but really like strong and powerful, which is kind of fun. Okay, so D, A, D, F sharp, and A if you want it on top. And that's gonna take us back to our main chorus on our B flat minor chord. Okay, kind of a lot of chords there. Let me review that one time for you. Starting on that G flat over B flat chord. So we have G flat over B flat, B, repeat that. Then you go to A, do, 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 to D. And then we go, just you and I. Okay, and that's taking us right to our chorus on that B flat minor 7 chord. That wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of Defying Gravity from the musical and movie Wicked. If you enjoyed, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe so you can see all my videos, and let me know what other songs you want to see in the comments. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.